Excellent. Okay.
Cool.
So I would love to hear more about pre-selling a product before you have built the product, because this feels like an
Okay.
urban legend to me.
I am an urban legend. People think I exist. I do not. That's how we did Right Message. We were, I think we'd kind of got so hard in the, like, this thing of that a lot of people do on their first time building something, where they like build a thing for a very long time and then you try and sell it and then you don't have it, like, turns out people don't want it because you haven't been. So I think me and Brennan had both had experience of that in the past, and we kind of wanted to go, like, make sure that didn't happen again, and this was our solution to that. Was to say we're not going to start even building it unless we have we set $10,000 as our
That's a lot.
It is. And look, the thing is, it worked because we already had an audience.
Okay.
And I'll start with the downside of it first,
Okay.
which is because I think it's a thing that people don't realize when they do this. Because we were able to get that pre-order money, because we had this audience that were passionate about what we were doing, we treated that as like, we are definitely onto the right thing, and we didn't do enough research and making sure we were aligned after that. We kind of got a bit complacent with the fact that people had put all that money in, and we ended up building something that I would say didn't have the ideal product market fit that it could have done.
Okay.
Because once we had that money in, we were just like, cool, we're onto something. We just build. So that was the downside of it, just as a thing to avoid. The upside was, like, we ended up with this really passionate group of early customers who we knew wanted the thing.
Yeah.
Like I say, we could have worked with them more, but we were still able to work with them to piece together what that initial product was, and that worked well.
So I guess where I'm stuck is, I have been doing a lot of customer interviews for our new product, and at least 3 people have said, yes, I describe, we're talking, they're telling me about their problem. They'll have heard us on the podcast, or they've seen even our landing page, and they're like, yes, I want the thing. But I am just concerned / do not know how to approach taking money, because what if my vision, like my product vision, even though I am doing my best to communicate to it, is totally different from their like how do you find that balance? You guys are like, hey, Right Message is this thing that's going to customize your homepage based on your visitors. And people are like, yeah, like, how do you find that balance between what you are envisioning and what they think you are envisioning?
Do you feel like you've got any of that from like, when you've had those conversations with them? Presumably it's been a combination of, like, them telling you what they need or what they're struggling with, and you telling them what you've got in mind. Like,
yes,
where's okay, so
but
where
there's
is that falling short of?
Well, it's falling short because there's so, like, the product we're building, there's so many pieces to it. Like, there's a developer interface where they can write SQL, and then there's the business interface where they can add filters. But I just don't know. Like people will describe what they want and it sounds the same, but so with our last product, okay, let me give you a little context. With our last product, we had a vision and we just pre-sold a few. And it ended up that the vision and what people really needed didn't align as tightly as we thought it would. And so I just don't know I guess what I'm saying is I would like to pre-sell, so I could feel like I had real validation behind this new product, but also I'm just worried it's going to blow up in my face.
In what way might it blow up?
Well, we can't build it fast enough. That's a big concern. Timeline.
And so if it took you longer to build than you had hoped or communicated, then how does that blow up?
I don't know. People will be mad. They'll want their money back. Okay. I don't know. I hadn't thought it through.
Okay. Okay. No, this is good. I'm encouraging you to think it through. Do you know what I mean? Like it blows up. See, that sounds vague to me. Like I want to know what it is you're worried about. So okay, they might get mad. They might ask for their money back.
We might not be able to deliver, as in we think we can deliver, but we haven't built this tech yet. So there is always an outside chance that we run into some roadblock we did not anticipate, and it cannot be done.
Okay. In that situation, if it absolutely cannot be done, then you give the money back. And if you want, you can tell them that if they change their mind, they can have their money back. Like there are ways around these things.
Right. It sounds very simple when you say it like that.
That's okay. You can give me more objections. That doesn't fix for I don't want people to be mad at me. Like maybe they would still be mad at you. That's
yeah. Right. I'm building a business. I guess that's part of life sometimes, maybe.
Yeah, and I think you'll see it as a much bigger deal than them. Like if they are happy to put their money in, and then it doesn't go their way, and then you're like, "Here's your money back." I'm not, maybe don't go and spend all their money.
Yeah, right. So I guess so let's say that that's not a real thing, because let's say we could agree on a timeline. Worst case, we can't hit it or something, and we give them their money back. So second concern is, let's say there's 3 people who are like, yes, I'll buy the thing from you. I will buy the thing from you. But I'm a little concerned too, then we'd be building for this really, really small group of people. And I don't know if that is good or bad.
Okay, I like that question. In simple terms, I would say the more people you're building for, the better, if they're all similar to each other.
Right.
If they're all totally different and they've all got conflicting needs from this product, then more people is going to be difficult. If they're all going to be needing a similar thing, then more people is great.
Right. Yeah, I don't know that I know. Like, I feel like they're different in terms of like industries, but the use cases are all the same, right? So the product, as we envision it, should work for all of them.
Okay, then I would say more is better.
Yeah, I would say more is better.
Yeah. Now it's interesting. All of these concerns that you've mentioned, I think they would all exist exactly the same if you didn't take money first.
Right. It doesn't change anything. Yeah, that's a very valid point.
Which is very interesting. Yeah. And so, yeah, I'd be more interested to explore your relationship with money than the specifics of. We won't. Yeah, because all these issues still exist. Like, what if we build something and it's not the right thing for them? That would be a problem if you didn't take money. The only difference is like you might feel worse about it because you've taken money.
Because I've taken money.
It's the same problem.
Yeah, I think it's the same problem. You're right. Interesting. That's an interesting point. Yeah, the money doesn't actually change the problem space.
No.
Okay, so let's say I do
feel like it's a bigger problem.
That's very intuitive. Yes.
And financially, there is no difference either. If you have if you're allowing them to have their money back if these things go wrong, or even if they just choose to.
I think there might be more like on these calls, I said to these people, I said, I can't guarantee you a timeline. And I think I'm just a little like gun shy from our last product, which just didn't turn out the way we hoped on the timeline we hoped. Yeah, this is interesting. Okay. All right. So
is the thing that you're currently talking about needing to build before there's any value for them, is that definitely the absolute smallest scope that exists?
I think so. And we're close. I mean, yeah, we've really, really stripped down the scope of this thing. The thing is, I guess where I'm concerned is the thing the people want, that the people are like, I will pay a lot of money for this thing, is the end thing, not the small scoped thing. So we're starting with this small scoped thing, and the people, but like whether that provides them value they'll pay for is kind of unclear at this point. But the thing we're planning to build by the end of this adventure is definitely something people want.
Okay. And you need to build the first bit first.
I think so. Yeah, I feel pretty confident that we need to build the first part first, because it's part of the final product, and I think we just need to start shipping code, like shipping something, because right now we have nothing. Like something good, like not something crappy. Like ship something that's good, but small scope.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what's the problem?
Okay, so let's talk about, there's no problem. This is a psychological problem that I have, because this is what I've learned in the past 5 minutes.
I mean,
I think this
fun
is a problem
fact, all business problems are psychological problems.
Oh man.
I don't always make people realize that so quickly. I'm sorry. It's because it's like it's midnight here, so I've gone like I've just rushed it.
You just rushed
was this overwhelming for you? Do you want to be moving slower?
No, I like it. I don't like to waste time. I'm here for it. Okay, so this is my issue I have about letting people down. Okay, I've sorted that out. So I think that's what this is about. Like, I would feel really badly personally if I took their money and I couldn't deliver what I said I could deliver. So that's my own stuff, I guess. Yeah, no, you're right. It doesn't matter whether we take their money or not, because we have the same problems either way.
And for sure, like you're not alone on this. Like for sure, it feels worse at that point. If you've taken their money and then don't deliver and have to give the money back, that for sure feels worse than if you just say we're going to build this thing and then backtrack. Yeah, that does feel like tangibly it's exactly the same end result, but for sure it feels different.
Yeah. When you guys pre-sold, how did you $10,000? That's a lot. I mean, how does that? So you selling out? What'd that look like?
That was 10 people paying $1,000 for. I would need to look up the exact the specifics, but it was to have a year of access. And I think it worked out as like half the price of what we were planning to sell it for if they waited till launch.
Got it.
Essentially getting a 50% discount on that first year and a bunch of other perks. I think there was the course that we had, there was like an online course that we bundled in, and that they would get to be part of this private VIP community that was helping us to craft what that first version should look like and make sure it worked really well for them, and which I mean is a massive win for us, but also for them. That was beneficial for us to have this. Yeah, we had this. I think it was a Facebook group, maybe Slack. No, it was a Facebook group at the time, where we would just be. We kind of treated as much as possible. We treated that group as instead of the place that you might have in your internal company stuff where you're hashing out new ideas. As much as possible, we just did it in this Facebook group. So we're throwing around product sketches of this is we're working on this feature and we're trying to figure out whether it would work better this way or that way, the kind of discussions that you might have internally between you guys on the team. Wherever it made sense to, we would have those conversations in this Facebook group instead, and then customers could chime in. That didn't make sense 100% at the time, but there was a lot of stuff we were doing it like that. And so they were having some input, they were getting excited for they were seeing the progress. It was a very it was kind of a build-in semi-public amongst those people who had paid for that early access.
That's cool. Do you remember how long it took you to build the thing from taking money?
I think it was about 6 months from when we started building to when
So it
we
was like,
had like a.
yeah, it was a decent chunk of time. It wasn't like, oh, 4 weeks. We have this team of 20 developers.
No, I think it was 6 months. Like, I don't think it was 6 months before they were able to. I think maybe it was a few months until they were able to use it. 6 months was the time until we were happy enough with it that we did like a launch where other people could buy it at full price.
Got it.
So I think this community of pre-order people probably got access to it a little bit before that, and then helped us iron out things.
This is cool. I like this idea.
There was actually, I vaguely remember, there was like a really early. I think one of the other perks was that like we will set up your initial, we'll build your initial setup for you.
Yeah.
Which was great for them. Like for them, that was a perk of like, I don't have to sit down and use the tool from scratch. But for us, it also meant we actually didn't build a lot of the like interface at first. Like we built the back end of the tool,
Right.
like hand coded the configuration for these 10 customers.
For each person. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we didn't even have to have built out the entire thing before they could start using it. So like we were looking for shortcuts like that the whole time.
Interesting.
And again, win-win,
okay.
like they, that was useful for them, but it also meant that we could ship it to them much quicker. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can find the old emails. Like with the.
So this was like a 50% discount from what you ended up selling it for, the $1,000 for a year?
So, but I'm going to see if I can find the emails.
Okay. Some kind of discount.
Yeah, it worked out as cheaper than if they'd waited till launch for sure.
Okay.
And here we go.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was, we'll get your initial stuff set up. Brackets free consulting. So like we did like a call with them and set it up for them. 12 months for the price of 6. Yeah, we did it half price.
12 months for the price of 6. Okay.
And if the product doesn't live up to your expectations, we'll gladly offer a full refund. So okay. it was like a no risk for them. Like after we built it, if you don't want to use it, you can have your money back. I don't think anyone did.
Did you? And that was like the price forever. Like you honored that price forever.
And then we said lifetime discount after the first year. I don't think we actually specified what the discount was moving forward. And I can't remember. We probably just kept it at the same half price throughout.
Okay. Is that an email you sent? Because you were talking to these people on the phone, right? Like I assume, or on with Zoom, whatever it was back then.
It started as we sent out an email to see who was interested.
Okay. You said you had an audience already? From like a different product or something?
Yeah, just from earlier stuff, mostly from stuff Brennan had been doing in the past that was related to this. And we had built like we'd been doing some building in public. Like we hadn't started building the product, but I built this like prototype, just like a video showing. It was like completely. You ever heard the story of when Steve Jobs unveiled the first iPhone and like it seems completely slick? He was like showing a demo of how this iPhone worked and it was revolutionary. But then in conversations afterwards, it came out that like if he had pressed any button apart from the exact sequence that he pressed, like it would have crashed. There was just like there was one specific path through it. So we built this video that like showed what it would be able to do, but none of it was real. It was like it was a demo, it was a concept. So we'd been sharing that around, and so we had this email list of, I don't remember how many people were on it. It wasn't huge. But yeah, we'd been doing we had some kind of audience beforehand, and specific people that we thought would be interested, and so we sent this email out just to ask who might be interested. And then the ones who were interested, then we sent them this thing with the prices and the early access benefits. And then from there, I think some of them wanted calls. I don't think we did calls with all of them before they. We definitely did calls with all of them. I can't remember what stage in the process.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, this is great. This is great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
No. I mean, it seems very clear when you explain it. Like, it's just, I think as we said a little bit ago, I think it's more like a psychological thing. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't know if these people down, if they don't like it, but if it doesn't work out, we can just give them their money back. Like, that seems obvious to me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I like that framing, like that email you sent that was basically like, here's the deal, 6 months at 12 months price. You can help us, be in our founding customer group and help shape the product. And if it does not meet your needs in any way, we will give you a refund, no questions asked.
Yep.
I like it.
I don't think we even did no questions asked. I think we would have wanted to ask questions, but yes.
Well, right. But you know what I mean? No hassle,
yeah.
Right? No hassle refund if it's not what you need.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And that's still so much more buy-in. Like, even putting your money into something, even if you know you can get it back, like, that's still a much bigger commitment than just saying you'll pay for it, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thanks, man. I super appreciate it. This was really helpful.
Great. If you have any other questions, get in touch.
I will.
I have time now to do stuff like this. I exited Right Message last month.
Didn't I just see you last month? You failed to mention you were even part of Right Message. So
I couldn't mention it. It was the worst. Like, so Denver was this very weird tightrope of like, what do you do at MicroConf apart from talk about your business? And we were like days away from closing on this deal. I sold my shares to Brennan.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And we were like days away from completing it and signing up all the papers and stuff, but we hadn't yet.
Yeah.
So we weren't. It wasn't being discussed publicly yet. So navigating MicroConf was a very interesting experience.
You were very, very clearly didn't want to tell me what you did, so I didn't push too hard. Like, you seemed very
that would have just been personal. That would have just been, I didn't want to be talking to you. With everyone else, there's two things. Firstly, generally speaking, the line I was saying, I would give like a summary of Right Message to people. I just couldn't talk about the fact that I was about to be exiting.
Yeah.
The other side of that you were probably referring to is my favorite conversations at MicroConf are the ones where you don't talk about business first. Like, I want to know the people. It's like it's a pet peeve of mine, and I know it's ridiculous because it's such a common thing to do at this conference, at any conference, but it's such a pet peeve of mine when the first words out of someone's mouth at a conference are, "So what's your company? What do you do for work?
Tell me about your business."
No, that's all we talk about here. I want to know about you. In the nicest possible way. I actually don't care about your business until I know you, and then I really care about your business. I mean,
yeah, that makes sense.
I'm in a minority on this, but I do like to play this game of how long can the conversation go as people.
Oh, until literally today. Okay, until you tweeted that you were Right Message. I was like, isn't that Brennan Dunn's company? That's so then I texted Christian and I was like, is he a co-founder of Right Message? So I didn't know that until today, which is pretty funny.
There you go. I talked about this on the like I say, there's a MicroConf talk and there's a podcast episode about the pitfalls of this, which is similar to you said there, like the pre-selling the product. Firstly, it doesn't validate that your product is right. It validates that you found a problem that's intriguing to the people. Like,
Correct.
when you're
Agreed.
pre-selling and the product doesn't exist yet. Right.
Right. Yes.
And the other thing it's potentially validating is just that you have really good friends with money, or that you're really good at marketing and pre-selling, right? And actually, the better that you are at marketing, the less you can trust that pre-sale money is validation.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It could just be validating that you're really good at selling stuff, or really, really good at marketing, really good at building hype, really good at having friends who just would buy your stuff because they've been following you for a while. So you do have to be really careful of those things. It doesn't necessarily mean that you've validated the product.
Yeah. And that's just what I need to watch out for.
Into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel better about it. I feel pretty good about it, actually. I think, with the first product, we learned a lot. Well, so here's the interesting thing, and like, it's the same problem we're solving with the old product and the new product. So yeah, definitely a real problem. That's a good way to think of it. Like, we've definitely found a real problem that people want to solve. Now, the first way we solved it, we learned was not the way people want to solve it. But we think the second way is the way people want to solve it. So we have a lot higher confidence in this product. Okay.
I'd also challenge you to cut the scope down even further. Like, once you're sure that you've cut it down all the way, there's probably like 50% more stuff that you can cut. If you really think outside the box, like I said, like we barely had a user interface when we gave them the first version to use, because we just set all that stuff up for them.
Yeah.
Like, are there places where you could do that, where you could figure out the schema behind the scenes for how their data needs to be stored, and then you can have a call with, like, a consulting call with them. You can plug their data in directly into your database without even building the UI that they do that with. Would that give them some use? And then you have the UI for the reporting. I don't know the specifics of the product, but like, are there places where you can, the more corners you can cut like that, the more you can, the more you can remove uncertainty and make sure that you're somewhat along the right lines. I took this to the absolute extreme with when I built Smart Subscriber a couple of years ago. That was a product that was shipped in 24 hours. And that, if you want a lesson in cutting corners to get a SaaS product shipped, like, that's that's where you'll find it. There are, and you can't do that with every product. It's a small, it's a micro SaaS that was solving one small problem. But once you think you've cut the scope all the way, I'm sure there's more you can cut. Okay. And that doesn't mean that you won't put those things back in later, but like, are there ways that you can get it to a place where they can play with something earlier? Okay. Yeah, that's good tip. We'll think about that. We'll take a deep look at that, because that's smart. Cool. All right. Cool. Well, thank you. And congratulations on your exit. That's exciting. Thank you. Thanks. Super fun. If you have any other questions, then I'm around. Awesome. Okay. All right. I super appreciate it. I'll talk to you later. All right. Bye. Bye.